Welcome back, everybody. This is Glockman4519, or Dave Hayes. I am back with another ROM overview, and this one is for the Nexus 10 tablet. This one here is AOKP. I am running a wallpaper from Zedge. I didn't or couldn't find one that I really liked that would fit the screen on my Nexus 10. Because of the DPI settings for the Nexus 10, it's really a high resolution. I just didn't think none of them looked right. So that's just the reason why I don't have an AOKP wallpaper on this. For those of you that don't know, AOKP was out of the scene for quite a while. It has come back. It is supporting quite a few different devices out there, Nexus 6 being one of them, Nexus 10. I'm pretty sure the Nexus 6P, Nexus 5X. There are a couple HTCs. You have to go onto the Google, the Google community for AOKP to find which ones they are supporting at this moment. And there are quite a few devices out there that they are supporting. So let's go ahead and get right into this. This is actually long overdue. It's been out for a little bit. I just found out about it just about 3 or 4 days ago, so I wanted to run it for a while, make sure it was a solid ROM before I told you guys this is good to go, you need to flash it. And it is good to go, and you need to flash it. Alright. Again, this is AOKP. It is for the Nexus 10, Android version 6.01. So yes, it is Marshmallow. Believe me, I was one of those people that thought AOKP was done. That they, for a better, better term, that they had went professional and we were not going to see any more build from them. But they're here. So, and it's great. I'm glad they're back. It is one of my favorite ROMs of all time. I cut my teeth on flashing with this ROM, so there it is. This is build AOKP Manta, and this is an official build. And SE Linux is enforcing. I am running Cons kernel on this, only because I'm not so sure about the Nexus 10 and forced encryption and all that. I know Nexus devices do that. But I'm not 100% sure on what the Nexus 10 does. So I just played it safe, and I ran Cons kernel on this. I highly recommend this kernel. It's an outstanding kernel. Let's see here. There's not a lot of settings that are going to be different than any other Marshmallow ROM out there. I will touch on a few of them, and then we're going to get right into the ROM control. So first off, we're going to go to Developer Options. You have your Advanced Reboot option. Of course, since this is CM based, these are going to be where all your settings for those that we're used to are going to be at. Your Advanced Reboot, your root access. Now, this does have root access built right into the ROM. You don't have to flash SuperSU, but some apps may not run that need that. So I flash SuperSU. I am running, let me go back here real quick because I don't want to lie about this. I'm running version, I think it's 268 or 266. Let me see here real quick. 266, that's the version I'm running. 268 will work on this. Again, you don't have to flash SuperSU. I did because of certain apps I run require Chainfire's SuperSU to be installed. And they want it installed right in the binary. So, back into the developer options again. I showed you have your root access and all that, and of course you want to make sure your ADB debugging is on. That would be, of course, Android debugging. They have all of your other shortcuts for that. Your local terminal, if you guys know how to use that, it does come. Most of the Marshmallow ROMs out there comes with this, and it's a good feature. It's nice that they include it. If you know how to use it, you can get around a lot of things by using your local terminal. DPI settings, kernel tweaking. If you know how to use your local terminal, you can tweak your kernel with that. You don't need a kernel tweaking app. But I am using uh, Kernel Tweaker, that's the one I'm using. What I think, no, Kernel Auditor, that's the one I'm using. Well, anyways, we scroll on down here to the animations. That's going to be where you're going to find your Windows, your multi-window mode. If you guys use that, it's there. We do have a tablet, and it is a nice feature to use, and it does work. And then, of course, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you're going to get your last app button, your back button kill, and, of course, your time you want to have it set for how long you have to hold that button in. Trying to think of what is different, and they're pretty much all the same on here, as you know, all your settings as far as Marshmallow settings go. If you've seen any of my videos before, I go in depth on all the settings. I'm not really going to do that on this one. I do just want to get into the meat and potatoes, so to speak. But again, I'm going to touch on a couple of them. Since this is a CM-based ROM, under your security, you are going to find... oh, it might not be under security, but you do have privacy settings on this. They are... I got to find them here. Right here. This is where you're going to have your privacy guard and your protected apps and that. So that's where you're going to go for that. Sounds real quick. Not much there. Because this is a Nexus, it doesn't have a phone in it. You're only going to get your notification tones. These are your other sound controls. You know, you can turn them off or turn them on. I do have touch sounds off. Now, the video may come through that you hear every touch I do. I don't know. That may be a bug with just screen record. I can't hear the touches, but when I did a demo, I always do a test video before I start, and I could still hear the touch sound. So that may be something with the app itself. It may be something with the ROM. I'm not sure. But just to let you guys know that on my tablet right now, I cannot hear the touch sound. So if you're in a quiet environment and you need those touch sounds to be off, it does work in that sense. Alright, that's pretty much it for sounds. Of course, your vibrate is all the way at the bottom there. Display and lights. You have your normal display and light settings. You know, you have your sleep settings, all that, cast, wallpaper, LCD density if you guys want to change that, your LCD density. And then, of course, excuse me, your lights, battery light, notification lights. Not much you can change on these. It doesn't allow you to change the color or anything like that, but they are there, and I'm pretty sure they're red, if I'm not mistaken. All of them are red. That's just the way they have it set up. Most ROMs I've seen for this device don't give you LCD control. There may be one or two out there that do, but most of them do not. Let's go ahead and get right into the ROM control settings. This is how it looks. Just like on the Nexus 6 that I did, the review on the Nexus 6, you are greeted with their welcome page right off the bat, where you can go to the Android OpenCAN project, their website, look at their code review on Garrett. You can go to the IRC and join them for discussions and stuff. And then you can go and meet the people that are actually involved, you know, whether it's just for servers or they are the maintainers. They're all here. I highly suggest you go into this, click on each one of them, you know, just, you know, find out a little bit about what's going on with it. It's pretty cool. All these people are awesome. Again, this ROM just kicks ass. I love it. But we'll go ahead and get into the first part of it is the general. You're going to have your clock settings. These are your lock screen and your widget clock settings. So these are the settings for that. Then you have your weather settings for that. And if you want your temperature to show up in your left-hand corner, you want to make sure that you have a location set. Sometimes you can't just click on the weather panel. You actually have to put in a custom location. Just depends on where you're at. I didn't have to. It actually came right up, but I went ahead and put in that custom location that I always use. And then, of course, you have your calendar events. If you guys use that, it has that as well. Scroll to the right, you have your recent settings, recent search bar, recent full, in full screen if you want, which I love that feature. That's how I have mine set up. Clear all button, clear all locations, clear all tasks. Swipe to the right, you have your wake lock blocker. If you guys use that, it's there. Of course, I have an app that I use, so I don't use the built-in feature. These are your lock screen settings. Of course, you have your lock screen wallpaper. You can clear that and go back to the stock lock screen if you want, if you get things all screwed up. There are your lock screen blur settings. Then, of course, you have your weather settings, show weather, location, all that. You guys can pick and choose on that. You can pick your colors for your text and your icons. That is all there. I'm not going to get into that because if I do, I have to flip my tablet around and into portrait mode, or you can't physically hit the buttons. At least I don't think. I'll go ahead and try it, and see it's not letting me do it anyway. So it does have a couple small bugs to it, but for the most part, the ROM is all right. 99.9%. It runs great. I love this thing. We were in the lock screen. That's where we were at. Then, of course, you have your quick unlock media art if you want that on there, your media cover art, and your double tap to sleep on the lock screen. These are your status bar settings. Of course, your temperature settings with or without scale. If you guys want to use it, where to place it, what color. Of course, the color does work on that. I did find that spot on the lock screen for colorizing your icons and your fonts. That is the only one I couldn't color before. That was the only one I was getting the System UI closure on. So that's the only bug I found so far in this ROM. And it could be because of the kernel I'm running too, guys. Remember, if you are going to put in a bug report, you make sure that you're running everything that they supplied without any modifications or add-ons first. Okay. Then you have your custom carrier label. You can colorize that, which I have AOKP on mine. I'd love to see them put their little icon up there. That would be cool as all get out. So if you guys are watching this, developers, which I highly doubt they are going to take the time to watch one of my videos, but if you are, that would be awesome to have your little logo up there. Swipe to the right, you have your battery status style. I have mine hidden because I am running the 3-minute mod. So if I go home and I go into my 3-minute settings, the way this is set up, at least for the Nexus 10, it's automatic. It's built into the ROM. But you need to download the Resources APK. The one from the Play Store doesn't really turn it on. Since this is the free version that's baked in. So you're only going to get your offline icons. Believe me, I've tried to get the other ones on. I've asked the people over on the website about modding for it for the Nexus 6, and they told me that it's baked into the system. There's nothing they can do. So this is what you get. But it does work 100% on this. It doesn't come and go. It's there. So right now I'm running this one. I'm going to turn that scale down a little bit. I'm going to move that button over to there. Turn this scale down a little bit. Settings are up, it's up a little bit too much for me. Now I can see the whole 47%. There we go. That's perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my recents and get back into settings. Now, if you swipe to the right, now you're going to have your clock settings. You have your center clock, AM, PM style, date, and all that. And I think if you try to click on color, it's going to give me another force close. So this is another, yes, see? That's another one of those situations where that's a feature that doesn't work. But again, I can live with that for now. And I'm sure with, yeah. Oh, I'm telling you. Alright. Let me see if I can bring that back again. There we go. Sorry, guys. I wanted to try to have this set up before any of this happened. Okay, so back. Okay, there's two bugs right there, and it is the colors, and but it'll keep on going. So I pretty much set this all up the way I wanted, except for those couple colors. And that's why I do videos, so you guys can see what's going on. I don't hold anything back on this. So we swipe to the right. These are going to be your battery settings. Like I said, I have mine hidden. Clock style. Again, the color is probably the only thing that I found that you cannot change. And even on the size, back on the temperature, when you go to change that, you get those system UI force closes. But for the most part, they do take hold. You just keep getting that system force close for some reason, that system UI. And it's just something you deal with until you get through it. But again, you cannot change the color on the clock, just like you can't with the icons on the lock screen. Traffic network, here's where you guys would go for that if you want it. You have your incoming, outgoing, run them both if you want. Right now I don't, although I could. I'm not going to. Next up is the notification drawer. You have your quick pull down, right side, left side. Have it shut off if you want. I usually have mine set for the right side. Of course, you can your show weather and then your clear all icon to color that. That does work. Then you have your hardware keys. This is going to be for your physical hardware buttons, your power button, your volume buttons, stuff like that. That's going to be in here. You can set up your backlight to actually go out. I think I'd rather just leave it on. It doesn't stay on that much anyways. Only when you touch the screen, it stays on the whole time your screen's on. So why would you want to shut it off? It doesn't use any more than what your screen's using. So then you have your wake device, long press. These are all for your home button. Then you have your back button controls. You guys can do pretty much anything you want with your buttons with these settings. Power menu, this is what they give you. Now this is CM based, but they give you a lot more than what usually comes with CyanogenMod. As you can see, they do have screen record on here, which I love. Not only me, but I know a lot of people, at least that I know, that use the screen record feature. And it's nice that they include that in the power menu. It just gives you a quick way to get to that. Because actually, if you don't have it there, it's hard to even get. So it's nice that they have that. Navigation bar settings. These are going to be your, whether you want to even have your bars, that's your first setting. Left-hand mode if you want to run that. Then you have your height, your width, your landscape mode. All that's there. You can tint the buttons. I don't tint them because of the themes I run. I'd rather the themes tint them. I'd rather set them up according to my themes. And if I color them, it's going to screw that whole theme up. Then you have double tap sleep. Show arrows, arrow keys while typing, all that's there. And then of course you have your slim recents if you want to use that. The settings are all there as well. And then of course if you swipe to the right, these are going to be your settings where you can physically move them. You hit the edit button, you touch and hold the button, move it to where you want it, you hit save, Bob's your uncle, you're good to go. I am going to put everything back the way it was though. That's the way I run this. For some reason, I have my tablet set up in my workstation on my left-hand side, and it just works out better that way. So, but it's there, and you guys can change those around. These are your sound settings. You have camera shutter. You guys can shut that off if you want. Your screenshot sounds. Of course, your safe headset volume. And let me tell you what, this ROM puts out really, really good volume through earpieces. I was just watching some movies on Vudu, which works outstandingly on this ROM, and the sound quality is next to none. It's great, especially if you have a good set of quality wired earbuds or earphones, for that matter. Swipe to the right. These are all your volume steps. If you guys like to change your volume steps, this is where you would go for that. And we have our user interface. This is going to be where your animations are at, scrolling, cache, all that. This is where you go to adjust that. Swipe to the right, you're going to have your gesture anywhere. If you guys use it, it's set up in here to use. Again, it's a nice feature if you use this feature. Then swipe to the right again, and you can change the actual animations that go on throughout the ROM. Your toast icons, all of that. It's all here. And then we have App Launcher, which is going to be your app circle bar and your app bar. It is here. It does have a slight pause when you go into this setting. It's the same for the Nexus 6. So it's definitely something in the ROM. I wouldn't say it's a bug. It doesn't lock up or freeze. It just takes a couple seconds to get there. Well, guys, that is it for AOKP. Like I said, this is a nightly build, so I'm sure that a lot of these little bugs are going to get ironed out. But what I love about AOKP, and they never changed, and hopefully they don't, is the theme engine. And while we're at it, I wanted to show you guys a new theme that's out there, or at least that I'm trying. Now, it's, again, not a new theme per se, but it is a new theme for me anyways. And it is from Neon. You guys know I like neon colors. I think that's one of the best themes that I've seen ever. I've got a small handful. I like Neat. I like Neon. I love the gradient themes, the Flow Blue, the Flow Orange, and the Gradient, the one that started it all right here. I just love these. Again, Neon is my absolute top favorite, and they came out with what they call Neon Green, and this is CM 12.1/13, so it works good on this, and it works good on CM 12.1. So if you guys are still rocking any of the Cyanogen Mod CM 12.1s for this tablet, I highly recommend this theme. And I'll show you, it is a dark theme. Of course, I like to do them one at a time. I don't like to overload the system. It just seems to work better for me that way. I'm going to hit apply. It's going to change the whole look right away. I'm going to go into my status bar, and as you guys can see now, my clock color and everything's changed. So I'm going to hit update on my status bar. I'm going to go to the nav bar, even though it's already colored. I'm going to hit that as well. I'm not going to run the wallpapers. I'm going to leave that the way it is, but I am going to go back. I'm going to go into fonts. I want, if I downloaded it, transparent black is my favorite font so far. I'm going to apply that. And I think for my icons, I want to go with one of the gradient icons. I just love the way they look. So we'll go with, I think they're pretty much the same except for the standard gradient. Let's go with the Flow Blue icons. Hit apply. Now, since I'm using Nova Launcher, there's going to be a couple steps I'm going to have to do in order to get this. And you know what? I might even change my wallpaper. I'm going to leave it there. Anyways, you notice that my fonts, or my icons, are still what I had, or at least most of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over into my Nova settings. I'm going to go to Look and Feel. First off, I'm going to get my icon size, make sure that it's at no larger than 115%. Then I'm going to go into the icon theme and hit System. I'm going to go into Gestures and Buttons and back into Look and Feel, hit Icon Themes again, hit System one more time, and then when I go back, I have my icons. And I just think they're really nice. I love this. I love the icons to gradient, but I really do love this theme. I wanted to show you. This is the quick settings. That's the way it looks. I think it's just awesome looking. It's got that dark gradient from black to that lime green. These are the settings. This is the way your settings are going to look. It's got a nice deep black background with a with that lime green that just pops right out. The Play Store. The Play Store is themed with this. That is the way the Play Store looks. And what's nice about it is you can actually read your settings. They're not all screwed up. Now, I don't know why that happened. It didn't do that before on me, so I don't know. I don't think well, here's Hangouts, but I don't think that that Google Plus is actually themed on this. If I'm not mistaken, Google Plus doesn't get themed a lot unless you actually have the themable Google Plus set up. Yeah, that was my message to my wife anyways. Let me check it out though. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's not going to be themed. So, anyways. But for the most part, this theme does touch pretty much everything, and it's an awesome theme. I just figured I'd show you guys it. This is AOKP for the Nexus 10. If you guys are looking for another ROM to try out, I highly recommend it. It's an awesome ROM. I've been running it now since I found out about it. So this has been on my device for the last 3 or 4 days, and I've been rocking it hard. And I've had no forced closes, no random reboots, nothing like that. So it's just a great running ROM. I highly suggest it. So if you guys, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. I know it went a little long, but this is AOKP. They've been out of circulation for quite some time. I think they deserve a thorough ROM review. Until the next review, I will see you guys around. And you guys all take care of yourself.